up, people? I want to talk about another concept. I had a friend I was talking to about, same old investing. These are always financial talks when I talk like this. Well, sometimes family stuff. But either ways, they're talking about. I looked at the totals in doing cash flow for investing because a lot of people tell me that, hey, if you're investing for cash flow, you are losing out on the growth because the erosion of the original share price that you purchased some of the stocks or funds at is going to go down over time as they continue giving you these high distributions and payouts. And I looked at the numbers, the math, right? My portfolio, what I've been doing. So everyone knows I talk about this all the time. I started in 2020 and started working from there, growing it. And I look at the total return on, for example, S&P 500 in that time period. And I looked at the total return on the portfolio in that time period. And my portfolio is up a pretty nice percentage from that time, right? If you look at it, it was up like 27% since 2020. So that may seem like a lot to some, might not seem like a lot to others, right? It's all variable. But if you look at, if I add in the dividends received and then subtract out the total amount that I've put in and add that to the return that I have and do the math of it, my actual total return is closer to 194%, not 26%. Now, the reason on my platform, on my brokerage account, when I look at my all-time high or all-time, value of my portfolio, it's only showing the growth of the value of the funds I bought, but it's not adding in the cash flow I received from the portfolio. So I look at it like, if that example didn't make sense, think of it as if you bought a house. Let's say I bought a house, and the house value, I bought it and I was renting it out to people. And every month, people were paying me rent to live in that house. But when I looked at the value of the house, I looked at how much I paid for it and how much it's worth in the future. So let's say I bought it for $100K, and in the future it's worth 120. Well, to see the total return I got on that home, minus the expenses and other stuff, but to just look at the total aggregate number of the gains I've received from having the home, I'd have to look at, or revenue more so, I'd have to look at the 100 I paid, plus the 20 it grew, plus however many months I was receiving income from that home in rent. So let's say the rent of the home was, let's say it was 50 grand in a couple years that I had the house, right? So if my original purchase price was 100 and the value of it now 120, but I received 50,000 in cash flow from rent, then that total is 170. So if 100 to 120 is a 20% gain, when you add the cash flow in, it's now actually 170% gain. Now minus expenses and other stuff like that, but I'm just trying to do an easy example so you understand the math of it. So some people have told me that because some of the funds you might be invested in, they're going to lose value over time or different things. Well, I mean, that's why you diversify. So like there's some funds I'm invested in to get cash flow, but then there's also some companies or stocks or other things I'm invested in that are going to grow in value over time. So when I pair the two of them together, I'm not having this massive erosion in my portfolio. I'm having cash flow coming in that allows me to purchase more than I ever could if I spend all my extra time working, and I still am having gains in the portfolio because if I ever for some reason needed or wanted all the capital that's in there, I could sell everything and still have more than what I put in originally. But if I leave it there, I keep getting cash flow every month. In some instances every week, because there's new funds out now that are paying every week. So it's just crazy that people are thinking that because the value you see in your portfolio doesn't show that you're keeping up with the market or ahead of it, that you're not actually ahead of it, because you have to add in all of the dividends that you've received. And a lot of people don't factor that in because a lot of brokerage and accounts don't factor their total return by adding in the total distributions you've received on top of the growth and appreciation of the value of your underlying assets. So that was a quick thing I want to talk about for people to understand. Hope it helps, but if you have more questions, hit me up because I'm trying to help people out.